Hi everyone, it's very nice to see you again with another video. Today, in this video, I am going to continue the topic about abstract nouns and concrete nouns. After that, I'm going to talk about uh, countable nouns, uncountable nouns, and double nouns or two-way nouns. It is really important to know about abstract nouns, concrete nouns, countable nouns, and uncountable nouns because every day we have to use them in our writing, and when we read books or articles, we come across these nouns. So let's start our lesson. I thought it's better to summarize everything that we learned in our previous video about concrete and abstract nouns on a whiteboard for your reference. That way I can summarize the lesson on concrete and abstract nouns. Let's look at the whiteboard. Concrete and abstract nouns. Concrete nouns, they are physical, they are tangible. We can see them, we can count them, and we can measure them. They belong to the physical world. That means they are part of the physical world. We can see, we can look at concrete nouns. We can look at them. We can smell concrete nouns. We can taste them. We can touch them. We can hear them. For example, tree and house. They are concrete nouns. We can see them. I can see a house. I can see a tree. I can look at a house. When we take flowers, perfume, we can smell them. When we take food and salt, we can taste them. Mouth, door. Let's take these two examples. We can touch them. Song, I can hear a song. I can hear the siren. So, concrete nouns, we can use our five senses to identify them. Let's move on to the abstract noun category. Abstract nouns are not physical and they are intangible. Feelings, ideas, especially emotional ideas, concepts, events, process, and occasions. They all come under this abstract noun category. A noun denoting an idea, quality, concept, or state belongs to this abstract noun category. They do not belong to the concrete object, or they do not belong to the concrete noun category. In abstract nouns, properties cannot be perceived by five senses. On the other hand, concrete nouns, we can perceive them by using our five senses. Some abstract nouns are countable while others are not. Some abstract nouns can be countable or uncountable. What is the difference in between these two? This one says some abstract nouns are countable and there are some abstract nouns that they belong to uncountable category. But there are some abstract nouns, they fall into both countable and uncountable nouns according to their usage or according to the context that they are using. I will give you some time to look at the whiteboard again. So I told you abstract nouns are states. They are states and they are like events, feelings which are not tangible. They express non-physical concept which cannot be touched or seen. Some abstract nouns are countable and others are not. Others cannot be counted, so they are uncountable. I will give you some examples for countable abstract nouns. Events like sports meet, meeting, we can count them. One sports meet, maybe there may be one meeting. Process like arguments, thought, ideas, they are also countable. They had an argument, so it becomes a countable. The children had a nice thought about the experiment, so a nice thought. Kamal had an idea about how to solve the problem, so he has a nice one idea, so he got an idea, so that means one, we can count. Occasions like wedding, party, we had to go to a wedding, so it's countable. So we'll see what are uncountable abstract noun. States like sorrow, honesty, can we call them like I had one sorrow, I had two sorrow, honesty? No, we cannot use words like that because they don't have any singular or plural format. Feelings like joy, anger, frustration, we cannot count them. Quality like beauty, ugliness, cleanliness, we cannot count them. But I told you in here, some abstract nouns can be countable or uncountable depending on the context in which they are used. For example, Kamal has had several good experiences in his hometown. So Kamal has had several good experiences in his hometown. So that becomes a countable noun. Several good experiences. Kamal needs 5 years experience for that job. It says Kamal needs 5 years experience for that job. That 5 years experience means uncountable. It has a general idea. It doesn't say that a good experience or something, 5 years of experience. I will take another example. I had a strange experience last night. Is it a countable one or an uncountable one? I will repeat that again. I had a strange experience last night. Is it an uncountable noun or a countable noun? It's a countable noun because a strange experience last night, we specify that or we has a particular meaning for that experience. So it becomes countable noun. Let's look at the whiteboard again. This is the first example I'm going to use. He has had several good experiences about life. Here, experiences refers to a specific thing for a specific person. He has had several good experiences about life. Here, experiences, that specific abstract noun falls under countable noun category. We can count that. He needs 5 years experience for that job. 5 years experience, here experience gives a general idea, so we cannot count that. Here it's specified, so we can count it. Here it is in general, the contextual use is in general, so we cannot count it. In the third example, I had a strange experience last week. So we know that he had a strange experience last week. So it is not in general. It has specified, so it becomes a countable one. So we see that the word experience in these 3 examples, one is used as uncountable abstract noun and the other two sentences it has used as a countable abstract noun. Let's look at these two columns, countable and uncountable events. For example, sports meet, meeting. Process, argument, thought, idea. Occasions, wedding, party. State, I will stop from here. So this column, they all comes under countable. We can say I had to attend to a sports meet. Last week we had a sports meet. So a sports meet, we can make it a countable abstract noun. Argument. They had a nice argument on the topic. They had a nice argument. So we can count it. We can put an determine article in front of that abstract noun, so we can use it as a countable noun. Occasions like wedding, party. He had to organize a wedding last week. The company did 3 weddings last month, so we can make it countable by using maybe a article or a determiner in front of that. We can use it as a countable. Now let's look at this column, uncountable. State, to express a state like sorrow, honesty. We cannot say I had one sorrow. Feelings like joy, anger, they are uncountable. We talk about them in general. Quality like beauty, ugliness. We talk about beauty and ugliness in general. We do not specify them. So most of the children think that the topic concrete nouns and abstract nouns, it is very easy for them, and we don't have much to learn on that topic. But I always tell my students that it's very important to learn about this topic. So you have to go in depth to get a clear idea. So I think that you have a lot. You have some notes on concrete and abstract nouns. And you have learned a lot on abstract nouns today, because in my previous video, I gave you a general idea about abstract nouns and concrete nouns. Today, I add it a little bit more to that by using some examples, and I wrote them on the whiteboard, so you can refer them. You can go back to them and refer them when you need. I think that it helped you to get more knowledge on this topic. So the next part of this video is about countable and uncountable nouns. I thought it's better to continue abstract and concrete noun first, then to talk about countable and uncountable noun, because I end my notes on abstract nouns telling you how to identify a countable abstract noun and an uncountable abstract noun. Let's talk about countable and uncountable noun. So what are countable nouns? These nouns can be seen as individual countable entities. They can be preceded by the articles like a, an. For example, a boy, an apple, an orange, a cat. So these countable nouns has singular, plural forms. Book, books. There is a book on the table and there are books on the table. Leg, legs. So countable nouns can be combined with a determiner to form a noun phrase. So one more time I'll repeat that. Countable nouns can be combined with determiners to form noun phrases like a girl, several boys, these children, many children. So we can combine a determiner to the countable noun and we can make it a noun phrase. Apart from that, we can use quantifiers like no, a lot of, many, all. We can use quantifiers like that. We can use quantifiers like that with countable noun. No means nothing, none. All means everything. Like we can put it on a scale from 0 to 50, 50 to 100, like that in a scale. We can talk about that now. For example, like I have a lot of books to read at home. I have no books to read at home. So no means I don't have anything. I don't have at least one book at home. So when we making questions using countable nouns, for example, let's take this example. How many apples did you eat yesterday? How many apples? We use the plural form of that. How many children are there? Children. Child, children. So when you use many, how many children are there? Do you have any friends? Do you have any friends? Any friends? Can I have some eggs? Can I have some egg? Is wrong. Can I have some eggs? So this is the way how we can use countable nouns. Let's move on to uncountable nouns. Okay, let's look at uncountable nouns. In simple, uncountable means we cannot count them. See as an undifferentiated mass which cannot be counted. For example, if we take rice or sugar, we cannot differentiate the sugar like small pieces in that. It's very difficult to differentiate. We take it as a complete unit. So that's why we call it. These nouns cannot be differentiated into unit nouns. Then we can count them. If we can differentiate them, we can count them. We cannot differentiate them, so we can't count them. Examples like time. How can we differentiate time? If we take money, how can we differentiate them? I will tell you another way that we can do that. Nouns, these nouns can be differentiated into unit nouns. Okay, then we can count them. So I told you in simple, uncountable nouns means we cannot count them. We see as an undifferentiated mass which cannot count, but we can use some kind of unit nouns with them. When we use a unit noun with this uncountable nouns, we can count them. For example, if we take time, we can talk about unit like seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks. If we take money as a whole, it's an uncountable noun. If we use a unit noun with that, for example, cents, rupees, dollars, we can count them. I have $5. I have 10 rupees. I have 20 cents. But money as a whole, I have money. If we take clothes, clothes is an uncountable noun. It's a whole undifferentiated mass. But if we take a unit noun with that, for example, shirts, skirts, socks. I have 2 pair of socks. I have 3 skirts. So we can make it count by that. When we take water, water is an uncountable noun. We cannot count water. But if we take a unit noun, for example, glasses of water, pints of water, cups of water, we can measure. How many cups? 3 cups. How many pints? 7 pints. How many glasses? 10 glasses. But we have to introduce that with a unit noun. If we just take water, we cannot count that. It's an uncountable noun. When we are using uncountable nouns, we can use some determiners like this, that, less, least, much. But you have to keep this in your mind. We cannot use a or an with uncountable nouns. We cannot use a or an with uncountable nouns. Why? A and an, they refers to singular form. When we are talking about uncountable nouns, we don't talk about singular or plural. We consider it as an undifferentiated mass. In countable nouns only, we can see singular and plural form, like leg, legs, book, books, cup, cups. Here in water, time, money, rice, bread, we cannot use a or an. Can I have a loaf of bread? We can say, can I have bread? Or can I have a loaf of bread? Can I have rice? Can I have a bag of rice? There you can use a. So we can use quantifiers like none, some, lots of, a lot with uncountable nouns too. Do you need any time? Do you need any time? If you take time as an example, do you need any time? If you take clothes, do you need any clothes? If you take water, can I have some water? And I have to tell you something special on uncountable nouns. Much with, we use much with negative statements. So when we think about countable nouns, we do not use much with positive statements. For example, I have much money. That's wrong. So what is the theory behind that? We do not use much with negative, we do not use much with positive statements. We use much with negative statements, much quantifier. So I have much money, wrong. So we'll take some other examples too. I talked to you about a loaf of bread. What else can we take? A liter of milk. A liter of milk. 3 liters of milk. 4 liters of milk. We can say a pint of milk. If you take milk as a whole, it's an undifferentiated mass. So milk is uncountable. But if we use it with a unit noun, for example, a pint of milk, we can count it. 2 pints of milk, we can count. A pound of flour, pound, we can count it with a unit noun. 5 pounds of rice. Let's take rice. Okay, let's take rice. Rice as a whole, it's an undifferentiated mass. So rice is uncountable. Let's look at this example. A grain of rice. 2 grains of rice. Can you count that there? Yes, we can count 1 grain of rice, 2 grains of rice, 3 grains of rice. There we can count them. So that is the difference in countable nouns. As a whole, we cannot count the countable nouns, but when we use a unit noun with the uncountable noun, we can count them. A good example is rice. Rice as a whole, it's uncountable, but if we take a grain of rice, 2 grains of rice, we can count them. Okay, let's look at two-way nouns or double nouns. What are two-way nouns or double nouns? Earlier, we talked about countable nouns. Then we talked about uncountable nouns. Now, I'm going to talk about two-way or double nouns. What are two-way nouns? These nouns can be used either countable nouns or uncountable nouns depending on their meaning in the context. I will repeat it again. Two-way nouns or double nouns can be used either countable or non-countable nouns depending on their meaning in the context. For example, let's take the noun paper. Okay, he bought a paper last week. Here a paper means a newspaper maybe. So it is a countable. I need some writing paper. That's uncountable. So the noun paper acts as an uncountable noun at the same time as a countable noun depending on the context. Let's take something like okay, what else can we? Chicken. Let's take chicken. I saw a dog chasing a chicken. Here chicken is the countable noun. I saw a dog chasing a chicken. Let's take about the meal we had yesterday. We had chicken for dinner last night. We had chicken for dinner last night. Their chicken means a uncountable noun. It's a undifferentiated mass. But if we add like a unit noun to that, 1 kilogram of chicken, 2 kilograms of chicken, we can measure it. Let's take this example. Light. Okay, light and lights. There were bright lights in the stadium. There were bright lights in the stadium. There isn't enough light in this room. There isn't enough light in this room. So what is the reference? There were bright lights in the stadium. That can be maybe 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights. But when we think about this room, there isn't enough light in this room. So in here, the light means the undifferentiated mass. So it is an uncountable noun. So if you Google or if you read uncountable and uncountable nouns about in books, you will find a lot of two-way or double nouns. I just thought it's better to introduce you two-way nouns and double nouns also, because that's the place sometimes children get confused. So in this video, first I gave you a summary about abstract and concrete nouns. Then I moved to countable nouns. Then I talked about uncountable nouns. Finally, I talked about double nouns or two-way nouns. So I hope that you enjoyed and you learned something about this category of common nouns. So hope that you will like this video and hope to see you again with another video. Bye for now.